Hi everyone at hashtag B1 Last News and hashtag CDC Whistleblower, hashtag SP277, hashtag mine, not necessarily all in one tweet. I'm here with at Tanner's dad, also known as Timothy Welsh, who will be my partner in crime at Autism One. We will be there from the 20th to the 24th. I am hosting an all-day Thrive with Three Eyes event at Autism One. I've been going for over a decade. It's an unbelievably cutting-edge event about how to not only heal vaccine-injured children, but the people who are in the trenches of getting the word out about vaccines all show up to play nice in the sandbox and show us what we need to learn about vaccines, all in one place in Chicago, May 20th through the 24th, autism1.org. Now let's go on. What is going on is we've had to kind of do some stuff on the fly this week because what's happening is Senate Bill 277. Again, we're talking about California right now because it's ground zero for fighting back this behemoth force of Healthy People 2020. If you want to learn more about that, tinyurl.com/ and now I'm just going to talk in slashes / healthy2020. So they're screwing with us once again with Senate Bill 277, and we think we know why. We have made it clear that we're coming. We are coming to the Democratic Party to celebrate the open space at the Anaheim Convention Center. It's absolutely this gorgeous place. There's going to be 1,200 of the most fun families who know that it is just cool to care. It's Family Fun Day. It's all day Saturday. Bring everything that you need to have a blast all day long and meet all these fabulous people you've been working with on Facebook. We're going to have name tags there so you can find the people that you've been communicating with on Facebook that you've never met before. We're going to have games. We're going to have celebratory events. We are going to share and celebrate in the beautiful feeling of owning our body and knowing that 90% of the planet believes they should own their body. They're just not doing enough research to know how crazy all this vaccine stuff is. So the reason I went straight to that is SB 277, what they're doing there is, as you know, they slimed it through appropriations by crossing out, and I'll show you a visual for that in a second, all the costs that they were going to cover for SB 277 that could be incurred. They crossed all that out, so now it's just at the schools and at the cities, you're on your own. I have to do a huge shout out to OKOC, who had a fabulous agenda item today on what to do, which was to call the schools and call the cities to then call their senators and their assemblymen. And I was kind of excited that she used one of our TAD tips, so that was really cool. So thanks, OKOC, and that whole team over there. But what they're doing now is it's gone through the first reading, it's gone through the second reading. And we have been notified that it will be announced at 2 in the morning when the third reading and the vote is. They're trying to make sure we don't show up. And here's the double plan. If you're more than 2 hours from Sacramento, work on something else that makes more sense. If you're within 2 hours of Sacramento, please show up for the hearing. Please get in your car and be there for the hearing as soon as it's announced. It could be as early as 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. It could be 8 a.m. Thursday morning. There's a chance we're going to have as little as depend on those that are close enough to Sacramento to do it. So now we need to go all hands on deck for this Democratic Party. It's at the convention. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We want people there all 3 days. I'm going to be there all 3 days, and you're going to start to see a calendar of all the different things that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to have some doctors there that are going to be doing some cool stuff. We have a lot of people wanting to volunteer their time to be the reason why you want to come beyond just meeting all your new friends on Facebook, being able to hang out with all these kids that aren't going to shed all over you, and just really have the sense of community that I saw when I was walking those lines in Sacramento. It's just amazing to think that they tried to say we were angry when all I saw was, 1,000 people waiting in line where it could have been this arduous, painful task, and instead people were delighting in communicating with their new friends and being so excited that finally they had people that they could talk to about owning your own body. This body is mine, hashtag mine. We're going to be doing all of our tweeting and gathering all our memes at hashtag SB277 and hashtag mine. So make sure you look there on a regular basis. If you see something on Twitter, it's always fair game to take it right over to Facebook. And vice versa. When you see something on Facebook, take it to Twitter. When you see something on Twitter, take it to Facebook. Hashtags are important for both these days because they both Google query. So hashtag SB277, hashtag mine, all day on May 16th. There's going to be a ton of more information coming. This is sort of your save the date moment. Oops, it's going to be mine after California goes purple over SB277, Anaheim Convention Center, May 15th through the 17th, /CA goes purple and /Dem Party 2015. /Dem Party 2015 is where all the logistics will come out first. This is another big thing that I want people to realize. When we really own and harness this concept of mine, this is hashtag mine. It's not yours, it's mine. It's mine, and I care what you spray in the sky, and I care what you spray on my food, and I care what you try and inject into me, and I care whether or not I have medical freedom. It's hugely important, and I'm just going to drive Tim nuts when I say, here's one reason why it's super important in the state of California. Most people don't realize that there was a law written in 1964, I think, or 65, that's still on the books, because when our health freedom people went through, they changed the laws in California, and they're fabulous for health freedom, with the exception of this one law that was written that nobody realized was there, that mandates that if you are diagnosed with cancer in the state of California, no practitioner doctor is allowed to treat you for cancer unless you are also receiving chemo and radiation. Crazy law, and it's super important, especially for kids. We have a very high cancer rate in kids in California. Imagine you go to the ER for a broken arm, they do a blood test, the kid's been tired, they decide they have cancer, and you don't get to control their destiny. And that will get worse with SB277, not better. So the reason I point that out is there's all these groups that register with mine, hashtag SB277, it's mine. No, you can't inject me. Millions Against Monsanto. It's mine. I want to know what's in my food. I want to know where there's GMO. Common Core. It's mine. Shouldn't my schools be able to decide what we teach to our children instead of the federal government? What I'm saying is there's all these incredible groups to align with that we really need to try to get to this Democratic convention, because it's the Democrats right now who are leading the charge in thinking, no, it's not, it's ours, is what they're saying. So again, the concept of mine and the red shirts and really getting out there is really starting to pick up some speed. This has become something we just have to allow to happen, except for the people that are within 2 hours will be getting notice out to go to the vote for this. This is Jeffrey Jackson. If you go to jeffreyjackson.com, it's at the very top. The death of safe and effective government turns on CDC as agency's credibility goes up in flames. I haven't seen memes or tiny URLs for these yet, but like the stuff I do, I was down a caretaker, so Kelly Fincher, how we love Kelly Fincher. I am not going to play this whole thing, but this is a woman in Texas that has been with us since the beginning on hashtag CDC whistleblower, transferred over to hashtag mine and hashtag SB277 as a Texan, because they are so quickly abolishing all of their bills that they know that California has become ground zero. So I'm just going to let you listen to a little bit of this. Go to at Healthy Own and make sure you show her some YouTube video. I'm going to play you a little.
William's dad says his son is a blessing. but also says he's not the same kid he was when he first came into this world.
It's a boy. I have a son. He was not born autistic. Before he got his MMR shot at about 17 months, which was in the summer of 1997, he had a vocabulary of over 75 words. Doggy, fishy, mommy, daddy, all that went away. And we're talking about the deterioration in language within less than a week.
I just want to fast forward through some of this. Paid per shot. These are
The measles outbreak that started in California forced legislators in the Golden State to pass a bill that forces mandatory vaccination,
Personal choice with community consequences.
stripping away the option from parents. Reynolds calls it unjust.
It was pumping this stuff into these kids, and they're inherent risk. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a vaccine injury court up in Washington. People are maimed, killed, or rendered permanently disabled by vaccines.
The CDC says the government has clearly stated vaccines do not cause autism, urging every parent to get their child vaccinated. While its opinion is not shared by all, everyone seems to agree the best thing you can do as a parent is know your facts, research, and talk to your pediatrician.
Which is exactly what. Know your facts, research, and talk to your pediatrician. She's one smart reporter.
Let's evoke WBRZ News. The prescription's going to
Deep corruption in physicians' PACs, pharma-funded Senate campaigns. So she's put this whole thing together. Oh, Kelly, we love ourselves some Kelly. And then she's got
relevant divisions at CDC
that
regulate vaccines. The first is vaccine advisory committees. These are the committees that.
Then she goes into vaccines weaken the immune system. Just rock solid. Kelly, thank you so much for this. So that's on Healthy Own. So let's move on. Vermont votes to remove philosophical exemption after you saw Kennedy do his thing there. So shame on you, Vermont. Say hello to civilian living, because it's going to be interesting the next couple of years in Vermont as all of these pasty white people with bald heads are going to be replaced with hot mamas who think it's cool to care, because that's what's coming. Okay, so tell Grandma and Grandpa they are 83 shots behind. If you live to 80, average age from age 20 to 80, you can be mandated to receive 60 flu shots, 7 Tdaps, 1 shingles, 4 pneumonia, 1 plus meningitis, 1 plus MMR, 3 to 6 HPV, 2 hepatitis A, 3 hepatitis B, and 1 to 3 Hib, unless you get pregnant. And if you get pregnant, add 1 DTaP for every pregnancy. I love this meme. I haven't seen this in a couple months, so people keep scouring at CES Dave, and you will find the mother lode of data points to meme out and take forward. Okay, now this one right here, I think we already did. I can't. What was I showing here? Can't remember. That might have been just a repeat. Okay, so going on to this. This is something very interesting. These are the things we get on Twitter. This is from Twitter. We go to Twitter at hashtag CDC whistleblower, other times at hashtag SB277mine. And the most interesting stuff comes up. This is at reportingonhealth.org. Overlooked court case puts industry-friendly state medical boards on notice. The attorney generals have been, let me just read. The attorneys general, the group told them, needed to start forcing state medical boards to transform themselves from industry-regulating industry boards, composed mainly of doctors, to a model where members from the general public occupy most of the board seats. The walls are falling. The house of cards is falling. It's coming. We just have to have it be cool to care and have 1,200 people at the Democratic Convention. This is also going on today when I said that OKOC had put an agenda item today to contact all of their school boards and their cities. It was, this is the information that they're giving them, that everything associated with paying for the cost to SB 277 has been crossed out of the bill. Okay, then we have fabulous We did the protests all over the state on Monday, and almost every single place that had more than 10 people got some news coverage, so here's one.
Parents held a protest today against a controversial bill that would restrict their ability to opt out of vaccinations for their children. They're demanding they call the shots. ABC 7 News reporter Leanne Melendez attended today's demonstration in Campbell and joins us live now from the newsroom. Leanne.
Yeah, well, you know, demonstrations like this one today were held throughout the state. This was not organized by any single group. Parents just heard about it and showed up. And it appears that their voices are being heard. These parents came to protest in front of State Senator Jim Bell's office in Campbell, a supporter of mandatory vaccinations. Similar gatherings were held in different parts of California.
I believe in medical freedom. I believe in a patient and a parent's right to make a choice for their own child, talking directly with their own medical doctor, not a politician.
So there is a real risk in it, and I think I, as a parent, have a choice of whether or not to take that risk. Whether I take a risk with the disease or whether I take a risk with the known dangers of vaccines.
Senate Bill 277 is one of the most controversial in recent memory. It calls for all school students to be vaccinated. The bill was introduced by state senators Richard Pan and Bill Allen. It's received the support of lawmakers like Senator Barbara Boxer. The recent outbreak of measles prompted this action.
We are clearly at the point where our community immunity is dropping too low. And
I love that they won't even say herd immunity anymore because they know that no definition exists. So now they're using community immunity, and our rates have not dropped. It was 171 cases of measles, all of which now are completely recovered, and our rates are tinyurl.com/CAMMR rates stable.
And children are at risk.
But fearing the bill may not pass in the Senate, Pan and Allen are considering changes. The new legislation could read like this. Those unvaccinated children from 2nd grade through 6th grade would be grandfathered in and would not have to be vaccinated. This means only children entering childcare, kindergarten, and 7th grade would still have to be vaccinated. This compromise is said to be a political move to appease opponents, even though today's parents said they're the ones who should call the shots.
It is bothering me that the state is telling me what to do. They're my kids.
State Senator Pan has received so many phone calls that his office now has 2 phone lines, one specifically for this bill and the second for everything else. In the newsroom, Leanne Melendez, ABC 7 News.
And finally, a little bit of balanced news. The good thing that happened with taking it to the streets, taking it to these individual areas, was the news was more localized to those cities, and we got much better coverage. So great job to everybody who made that happen. And our goal next time is we had about half the locations periscoping. Next time, everybody on Periscope. Okay, so then we don't need that.
The big news on that front is that now it's available on the Android app too.
Oh, right. Can you? So Wendy Silver's Million Mamas Movement. You can Periscope too now. So this is the key language in that bill. It was amended Friday as follows. If the Commission on State Mandates determines that this act contains costs mandated by the state, reimbursement to local agencies and school districts for those costs shall be made pursuant to Part 7. So now they are being made. This bill amendment forces all financial responsibility to land squarely on the schools and cities, including all predicted litigation. And I think the word is getting out about that quite well. So, there we have our Tanner's dad. I don't know what I was trying to find there, but that certainly works. And then here we have another one we found on hashtag scientific peer reviews are the sacred cow ready to be slaughtered. Former editor of the British Medical Journal. This is from April, so a little bit ago, but not very long ago, because this is the former editor of the British Medical Journal that we've seen memes for 6 months now, where she talks about the research that you consider to be guiding the medical community is completely bought and paid for and a huge problem, that she simply doesn't trust. The apparent endemicity. It means endemic, but endemicity, I think, of bad research behavior is alarming. So this is just today. So now we have the federal bill. Oh my God, and I know it's scaring the bejeebus out of everybody, and everybody's freaking out. But stop for a second and think about how this is playing out. It reminds me of when they did the swine flu vaccine, and they scared the shit out of everybody. So everybody went lining up at their CVS and their whatever that other place, Walgreens, and they didn't have any shots. They only had the shots available for the babies and the pregnant women and the old people. So all these people were scared to death. They're going to have to wait for the shot. They have to wait for the shot. Oh, wait. Oh, it's not that bad. Oh, look, it's not really even a bad thing. Yeah, not a big deal at all. Wow, what was that about? So there was this whole group of people that hadn't ever gotten the flu shot that were scared and ready to get the flu shot because of being freaked out by the swine flu, and then they realized, wait, no, this is just not a big problem, and it was marketing 101 nightmare for the big pharma. I think this is going to be the same moment. Here's why. We have SB 277, SB 792, AB 1117, all these bills all about vaccines that we're fighting in California. A little bit too preoccupied with 277, but getting the job done. And they're pulling all these things out to try to get us to go away. Oh, it's just going to be 7th grade. Oh, it's not going to be the kids that are there right now with the grandfather. It'll just be daycare. Oh, we won't have to keep the records. Oh, we won't have to pay the cities, and just keep backing off, right? All designed to get the 1,000 red shirts to go home and stop bugging them in Sacramento. And bam, right before they vote on the Senate, the federal government comes through submitting a bill for consideration, H.R. 2232, which is called what is it called? This act may be cited as the Vaccine to All Children Act of 2015, which requires all public elementary and secondary schools to be vaccinated. And it goes on to say, I don't know, it's just, here's the deal. They're biting off more than they can chew. We have this amazing base of people who have never been politically active, which is like a cancer, but a good kind of cancer in the United States. And these people waking up knowing they have to babysit their representatives forever. And this is just going to double down. All those people who thought they could come home are reading this and they're right back in the act. Okay, so that's it. What do you got, Tim? That's me. That's mine. What do you got? Bam!
The Moms in Charge group at Dana Point had a conference with Dr. Wakefield, and there's about 5 videos that are out and about, and one complete one that's about an hour long. All of them are worth watching.
Okay, that's our buddy Dottie Sunshine, rock star, and there it is right there. She used the right hashtag. Candace is all over it. So this is the long version of the video, and so if you go to have you tweeted them too?
Yes.
Well,
and I periscoped them a couple.
Oh, and you periscoped them. Why can't I get the timing of this? I want to get the short one though. But that's okay. So what he's saying is when you see these videos that are at this YouTube channel, Moms in Charge. This is Dottie Sunshine, and she's just doing an amazing job, just hitting it out of the park. This is a mom who had a group of these amazing progressive moms who, when this whole thing started, was like, whoa, wait a minute. And she's been a rock star since the beginning, doing all kinds of media. And so she's getting ready to get people on board with this. Let's go over the logistics of this Anaheim Convention Center. It's this huge, here's the Marriott. I'm sorry, here's the Marriott, here's the Hilton, and here's a road through here. Can you even see my cursor? Disneyland is over here.
Nope, we can't see any of that.
You can't see it?
What you're doing.
Okay, so you are here is where we're going to meet, which is a huge fountain in the middle where everything comes together at this long corridor that runs north to south. And we're going to have people group in these little alcoves that have benches from north to south. So if you're in the southern tip of California, by, Tijuana, then go for where you're really collecting all of your stuff, have it be on the southern end. If you're on the northern end up by, is it the Oregon border? I don't know which one. Then go all the way to the northern tip because it's this long north to south. The center where the fountain is going to be the basic Los Angeles basin. But what you can do is just grab these little alcoves that are a little shaded area with a palm tree and just hang out there. We're going to have all kinds of activities. Bring your Nerf balls. Bring anything red that you have that you either want to trade or you want to paint. Because we can take anything red and we can make it into a hashtag mine shirt, a hashtag no on SB277 shirt, bring magic markers, bring old acrylic paint that you want to get rid of that you know won't wash out of fabric, bring anything that you can think of that can make it a more festive party, but everything needs to be able to be something you carry in an IKEA bag, for example, because we're just visiting a public area to celebrate that it's cool to care, and we might have a few conversations with a few of our representatives that are Democratic that are going to be at this convention going in and out, because we're going to have a mug sheet of what they all look like and what they represent and how they voted, and we're going to just say hey when we see them walking by and tell them how cool it is to care. And then when we go inside, we're going to take off our red shirts and we're going to be business casual, and we have a very different job to do in there with the same mug sheet of who we're going to talk to. And when we talk to these people, we're all their constituents. We're Democrats. We voted for them. We live in their district. Of course, right? Because you're only going to talk to, quote, yours. So this is going to be huge. We're going to have 1,200 people at the Democratic Party, and we're going to party, and we are going to have a blast. And you will get to meet everybody that you've seen on Facebook. And if you haven't been to Sacramento, this is your a chance to experience that. All these kids play together, and none of them are getting sick from shedding. It's really quite beautiful. So anything else about that, Tim?
No, go have fun.
I wish you could be here, but I will just have to wait to Chicago to see you. And stay tuned, because I teach these all-day seminars, actually to these doctors. So I think I'm going to do some teaching modules, which would just be me with my computer and you with your computer, and 20 people or whoever wants it. I think I'm going to do some meme making classes and some PowerPoint making classes and some periscoping classes and some Animoto creation classes. What else can I do, Tim? It's got to be something else.
Twitter.
Twitter, oh my God, absolutely. So there might be a whole schedule of stuff like that too. We love you, and we will see you on Twitter. Thanks.